Well, Coach, I have kind of another question about your community there. We were talking about before you joined us on air. I think UNA is going to be able to make this transition relatively quickly. I mean, you know, you're going to have some bumps in the road just like anybody would, but I think you've seen the blueprint with like what a Troy has done in their move up the ranks in the world of college football. And not only that, y'all's communities kind of people really take pride in that whole community about the UNA Lions, just like Troy did. Troy had great pride, and they know they're not Alabama or Auburn, and they like the fact they're not Alabama or Auburn, and they accept it, and they learn how to succeed from that.
Well, I mean, first of all, we consider ourselves not to be in Florence, Alabama, but the Shoals. The Shoals includes Tuscumbia, Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, and Florence. And anybody that knows the area knows that's like Auburn, Oklahoma. It's one town in the sense if you're not a local person who never says it's one town, if you look at it, you never leave a street light. When you're going from one to the other, it's all town, town, town. So it's, we've got close to 100,000 people within the two counties in the town. So the size of the town is much bigger than what you see many Division II and 1AA teams. So we've got a good population base and a great area to promote football in our area. That's very important. And the other thing is, it doesn't take that long to be competitive on the field. Most people remember me when I was at Auburn, but I was at Stanford before that. And at Stanford, they hired me as a Division III head coach, telling me that they were going to go to 1AA. So at Stanford, we went 9-1 our first year as a Division III school, and we moved directly to 1AA. And in our fourth season on scholarships, we went to the national semifinals. And it's kind of funny, we lost to Jim Tressel and a quarterback that he probably shouldn't have in the national semifinals when we were at Stanford. But in 4 years, we went from playing non-scholarship football to beating Central Florida, to beating Troy, and playing for being one game away from the national championship. So I think you can compete on the field. What you've got to do is to be able to raise the money. Where we lack, we don't have an adequate weight room. We don't have adequate coaching facilities or dressing room facilities. We don't have probably a lot of glamour needs to be added to our stadium with skyboxes and things like that. So the facilities are going to take time. That comes from fundraising. That comes from time. And our other sports that have to compete at Division I, not 1AA, will take a little time. But football, I believe, Jacksonville will tell you that. North Troy will tell you that in football you can compete really quickly if you have a strong tradition like we have at UNA.
Well, Coach, just one more quick question. Will this move up allow you to raise the money more quickly? Will there be more, for instance, advertising or TV dollars out there for you to get? Do you see that becoming, the fundraising becoming a little bit easier as you kind of move up the division ladder?
I think it'll explode. I think the product changes. You can't ask for more money without changing the product. We were offering Lambeth College. Now we're offering Jacksonville State University as a home game. We're offering, we'll be offering an Ole Miss or a Tennessee as an away game. I mean, when you're offering those type of things, it changes the product. And when it changes the product, that excites the people. And so you walk in and say, hey, let's be a part of something that you've never had a chance to be a part of right here in our community. So absolutely, you can't raise those dollars at Division II. Also, you don't take student fees at Division II. Once you move to Division I, every university in the country takes student fees. So you're going to get about $300 a year from every single student. That's going to be about $4 million in your budget. So now your budget comes from that. So again, there are different areas, and of course you've got game revenues when you play Division I teams. You've got basketball revenues, conference revenues. So there are a lot of revenue streams that you have in Division I that you do not have in Division II. There also are a lot of costs, but the plus to the university, the public. The awareness of the university and the promotion and publicity that we get. I know I checked about every paper in the country when I got online this morning, and almost every paper around the country, you could find somewhere where somebody mentioned UNA moving to Division I football.
Well, that's huge in itself, and again, that national exposure is priceless. Coach, before we let you go, I've got to ask you about the state of college football. Right now, it seems like a lot of turmoil. You got University of Tennessee going before the infractions committee, or just met Lane Kiffin and Bruce Pearl and the ex-athletic director. Of course, all of the mess going on at Ohio State continues to just fester. North Carolina with last year with all the players having to sit out trying to investigate that. Of course, Auburn having its fair share with the Cam Newton controversy, and then Southern Cal having to give back a national championship. Coach, talk about the pressure at that level and the immediacy to win right now, and all the pressure from the fans and the alumni and all that. Talk about that versus where you are right now, because I know there's pressure in every job to win, because that's why you wake up every morning and you compete because you want to win. But the level that it sits right now in Division I major college football, and what coaches are having to go through, I guess, to try to take as many shortcuts as they can to try to get the best team on the field, it's starting to really surface right now. Yeah,
and it's the truth, and we're going to have to do something about it. And I think if it doesn't start with coaches themselves and athletic directors and looking within and say, you know what, I don't care how much pressure we think is on us. We get paid a lot of money, and we got to say no, because I think we're probably at one of the wildest, wild west times in the last 30 years in recruiting now. I mean, everything's on the table nowadays. Everything goes. And we know, I mean, whether it's paying players to play or paying players who are paying for you so they're happy and not leaving, it's out there. We're seeing it from the top schools. Southern California clearly caught Reggie Bush. They should have known, they say, that he got thousands of dollars. Ohio State, considered the cleanest program around, or they said. Clearly, nobody could have not known all the cars being bought, all the tattoos, all the money that the players were getting, and they're going to be hammered. And I think you can see right now that it's hitting a lot of teams. It's just the money's so big, the press, the internet radio, recruiting, everything has gotten so big that we've lost a little bit of our value system about winning and losing, and I think it gets taken away from the game. Now, that being said, we love it just as much. The fans are pouring in, but we really have to be careful because we're giving ourselves kind of a black eye right now, and hopefully we can kind of ease back and say, hold it, let's find some perspective, because just to say everybody does it and the do-it-yourself doesn't solve the problem. It just exacerbates the situation and makes it even worse. So hopefully we'll begin to see. And I don't know what the answer is going to be, because it's the salaries get higher. You have to win or else, and the amount of stuff going on at these universities is increasing back to where it was maybe in the 60s and 70s.
Well, Coach, good stuff there. And as you said, basically, with the way technology is and social media now with Facebook, Twitter, and all the blogs out there and all the recruiting sites, everything's just magnified times 20, and everybody knows every move, it seems like, before the people making the move even know it. But, well, Coach, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure having you part of the program. Good luck to you guys up at UNA making the move to Division I. We look forward to having you back on the program soon.
Thank you all. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thank you so much.